I have to be honest, I've been avoiding making this video for a little while now, but it's for a good reason. I really wanted to wrap my head around the idea of Disney wanting to reduce the amount of plastic waste that they produce. But now that I've been to Disney and seen firsthand the implementation, or at least the start of the implementation, for the reduction in plastics at Walt Disney World, I have some suggestions for Disney and a way forward that might be best for all of us, the guests who want a magical experience and don't want to feel like we've lost anything, and also Disney who wants to reduce the amount of plastic waste. To give you a little bit of background, a little while ago, Disney came out with a video and an article all about how they wanted to reduce the amount of plastic waste that they had at all their theme parks and on the Disney Cruise Line. You can find that article and their video explaining all of it in the description of this video. Now, before I dive into some of those suggestions to Disney, I want to start by saying that I am 100% behind the idea of less waste for all of us. I think we can all do our part to help the environment. I personally recycle whenever applicable, and I take the lessons that I learned from Kilimanjaro safaris and I make sure to recycle any old laptops or old phones so that they can use the Colton inside so they don't have to keep taking the environment from the animals. So I'm all about recycling and helping the environment in any way that I can. And Disney is all about helping the environment as well. We can see examples of this all over the place, especially in the theme parks. They have two trash cans side by side, one for trash, one for recycling. Disney goes even further to reduce and recycle. Just one other example, inside guest rooms, if you use a towel once, just as an example, you can hang it up on the wall and mousekeeping will not take it to wash it, so you can reuse it and they can save that water. But if you've used it many times, you leave it on the floor and that way mousekeeping knows to take it, wash it, and replace it. Disney also has the Disney Conservation Fund, which I know is not just about recycling and trying to reduce and reuse. However, it does show that initiative to wanting to help animals in any way that they can. But now Disney wants to get even more aggressive about recycling, and right off the bat it sounds like a really good idea. However, the implementation leaves just a little bit to be desired. Disney's mission to reduce their plastic waste falls into three major categories. Disney's planning on significantly reducing or completely eliminating plastic bags in all of the parks. They're planning on reducing the amount of plastic waste found in guest resort rooms, and they're also planning on reducing the amount of straws that end up in the trash from their Disney parks. Those are the primary objectives, but let's go into more detail about each one, starting off with the elimination or significant reduction in plastic bags at all Disney parks. At the time of filming, we haven't seen a significant change to the plastic bag distribution. Not yet, but you can be reassured it's coming. And to me, there's one easy solution to solve this problem. Disney could switch to some sort of reusable bag. As long as these reusable bags can withstand the Florida weather that does include water, I think this is a perfect solution and gives you a little bit of an extra souvenir when you get back home. The key to this, however, is not to charge an additional fee for the bag. Now, if you want to buy extra bags to give out to friends and family, that's something totally different. Maybe Disney will charge something for that and it would make sense. However, for all of the items that you bought, let's say you bought 3 bags worth of items at a Disney shop, Disney should give you 3 bags for free. If they do that, I think everyone's going to be happy. They withstand the water. I think it's going to be a thumbs up. It'll be no problem, and they also solve the environmental issue with the plastics. Now, I personally am going to have to find another way to protect my camera on water rides, because the trick I use is actually house the entire camera in a plastic bag, but I'll find another way. Don't you worry. I'm not worried about that. Disney, don't worry about that at all. I will find another way. We have the reusable bags. They don't cost more. That's the way to go, in my opinion. Okay, one problem solved. Bad news, that was the easiest one. Now we're getting to the more complicated ones. The first one is a program we've already seen implemented to a degree at Disney resorts, the reduction of plastic soap containers from Disney resorts. You know how much I like having these sanitary plastic soap containers in your room, but I will be the first one to admit that when guests throw them out in the garbage, they are bad for the environment. Now, if you do have any of these plastic soap containers left, if you do decide to throw them out, make sure you recycle them. That will definitely solve a big problem. However, I do see that Disney wants to reduce that waste. I get it. I understand it. They want to help the environment any way they can. But the solution that they have come up with, I'm sorry, it's just not working. I'm sorry, I'm just not going to get over it. I'm not. I gave it a chance. Disney, seriously, I did. I don't like that. It's just not working for me. We've got to find another solution. In case you missed it, Disney's solution to the waste problem with the small plastic bottles was to nail 3 bottles of soap or shampoo or whatever it is to the side of each shower. To me, these are totally unsanitary and something I'm never going to use. Instead of this, Disney, I know you've got some really bright Imagineers on the team. You can come up with a material that can be totally biodegradable but sturdy enough to hold shampoo or conditioner or whatever. So when it's time to throw it away, it's not plastic waste in the ocean. Instead, it just biodegrades and becomes part of the environment. Now, Disney, if you feel like this solution is not the way you want to go, there is yet another solution on my mind. Not as big a fan of it, but at least I'll start using the soaps again. Instead of using those hand pump bottles in the shower where you have to, no, I don't want to do that. Instead of doing that, use a technology that's already been used all over the parks and at international parks, in the airport, in the restrooms, everywhere. The totally motion sensor soap dispensers. Super easy to just put on the wall, person puts their hand under, soap comes down, it just is totally sanitary. I would start using the soap again. I have a feeling, let me know if you would use the soap again. That's the solution, not the pump bottle. Pump bottle is not working. Again, that's not my favorite idea. I would prefer to have a small souvenir to take home with me. However, I'm totally okay with using the motion sensor soap dispenser. The pump bottle, I am never going to use. Motion sensor, I would. By the way, if you're a fan of the Disney Cruise Line like I am, Disney did mention they're planning the same thing for the cruise line. I'm super sad about that. I like these. However, to help the environment, if they want to put the motion sensor soap dispenser, I can work with that. Last but not least, a change that Disney has already been testing a little bit, especially during the Food and Wine Festival, the elimination or serious reduction of plastic straws around the parks. Now, if you've enjoyed a root beer float or another beverage at Animal Kingdom, you probably have the perfect solution right now. Why don't we just use paper straws everywhere? We help the environment, and we can use the paper ones just like at Animal Kingdom. Yes, they could do that, and it would make a lot of sense. However, there are a lot of guests, including those with disabilities, you taught me this, who are not able to use paper straws because they present a possible choking hazard. Now, from what I can tell, Disney is starting to test the need for straws in the parks. In many counter service and table service locations, they're starting to take straws away just a little bit and only handing them out to those who specifically request them. My theory is that after Disney tests this taking away of the straws just a little bit, they're going to realize that they're really important. They're seeing this now at the Food and Wine Festival. During our most recent adventure to the Food and Wine Festival, you could see that Disney was starting to test this program at the Chocolate Studio and at Taste Track. When I was trying that chocolate beverage from the Chocolate Studio, I wanted a straw so that I could enjoy it. I asked one of the cast members where I could find one, and to my surprise, she told me that they no longer had any.
We don't have any straws.
Okay. At Taste Track, I had a little bit of a different experience. I asked for a straw for my pancake milkshake, which I don't recommend, by the way. That milkshake was not very good. And they had to go behind the scenes into where they were cooking the food to get a dispenser for the straws. And it wasn't just that they were replacing the dispenser. They handed me a straw, I took my straw, and then they took the dispenser away. So as much as I would like to reduce the amount of straw waste at Walt Disney World, taking them all away is just simply not going to work. However, I have another idea. Now, circling back, all around Walt Disney World, we see trash cans one side by side with another, a trash can and a recycling bin. Instead of just having those two containers, Disney could take that one recycling bin without adding to the footprint at all, the same amount of space, and they divide it into 2 or maybe even 3 sections, maybe for glass, for paper, and for plastic. That way, if you enjoyed a really good beverage in a paper container, you can put the paper in one and the straw in the plastic recycling. That way you solve all the problems all at once, no added expense, just dividing up each recycling bin into 3 different pieces, or even 2. 2 works too, 1 for glass, 1 for plastic. It solves all the problems. That solution, I think, would make everyone happy. The environment is happy because we're not polluting as much with the plastics. Disney is happy because they're able to say that they saved so much of the environment from the plastics in the separate area, and it's good for PR, and they do care about that. It's important for a company. And we're happy because we don't lose anything, and we also feel like we're doing our part part by putting that one straw right in the plastic recycling, we did our part. Now I know that Disney is doing everything they can to protect the environment in any way they can, but I am confident that after Disney tests this a little bit and gets it just right, they're going to find a solution that makes everyone happy. Now those are my thoughts. I would love to hear yours. What do you think of my suggestions? Do you think that they could work in the parks? Or maybe you have even better ideas? Let us know in the comments below. I am all ears. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me. Until next time, have a magical day.